आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवद् वदति तथैव चान्यः आश्चर्यवत् चैनमन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वाप्येनं वेद न चैव कश्चित्. So the word Ascharya has been used many times here. Ascharya means amazement. Some people Ascharyavat pashyati. So Krishna says, some people pashyati, look upon the soul as amazing. Ascharyavat pashyati kaschit enam, the spirit soul. And Ascharyavat vadati, some people describe this as amazing. Tadha eva cha anyaha. And Ascharyavat cha enam anya shrunoti. And others, they hear about the soul from others. Anya shrunoti. But shrutvapi, even though after hearing about this enam, the soul, veda na chaiva, na veda, they cannot understand it. They cannot understand him at all. They cannot understand the soul at all. So Krishna, in this set of verses, he is describing he is establishing the identity based on the spiritual platform, not on the material platform. So Krishna has been giving various arguments and describing about the spirit soul. And here, after describing the spirit soul in a negation format, so Krishna has used the negation format. So the soul is not like this, not like this. It cannot be killed by the weapons, cannot be burnt by the fire. It is not like this. So it is neti neti. And finally he is trying to give an indication to Arjuna how to actually understand. Or in other words, he is telling Arjuna, if you try to understand it in your own way, you will be subject to this amazement like this. Because many people has become amazed by looking at the soul, by talking about it, by hearing about it. Nobody has been able to understand really what it is. So in the end, Prabhupada gives a conclusion that if you want to understand the spirit soul, if you want to progress in self-realization, this subject matter is very confidential and very difficult if you want to make progress by yourself. So you have to accept the bona fide authority and then take the lessons from that person, and then like that we can progress and get to understand this spirit soul. So that is the conclusion of the purport, and that is what Krishna also wants Arjuna to understand. So in the beginning of the purport, Prabhupada mentions about Gita-Upanishad. So Bhagavad Gita is also called as Gita Upanishad. So Prabhupada quotes a verse from Katha Upanishad where it says, Shravanayapi bahubhir yona labhyaha shrunvantopi bahavo yahna vidyuhu ascharyo vakta kushalosya labdha ascharyo gnata kushalanusishtaha. So what it is basically saying is similar to what Krishna has said here. Some people, even after hearing Shravanayapi bahubhir yona labhyaha, they cannot get it. Shrunvantopi bahavo yahna vidyuhu. Shravanayapi means they explain or they make others hear. Shrunvanto means they hear. Navidyuh, they cannot understand. Ascharyo vakta kushalo asya labdha. They become amazed by hearing or trying to understand or trying to conceive the spirit soul. So it is strikingly similar to that verse in Katha Upanishad. So why Bhagavad Gita is called as Upanishad? Is it part of one of the Upanishads in the Vedic literature? So we need to understand a little bit about how the Vedic literature is structured. So there is something called Shruti and something called Smriti. Shruti means the word of God, the instruction, the words directly emanating from the Lord. So it is said that the Vedas emanated from the breathing of Narayana. Therefore, the Vedas become the Shruti. Shruti means which that is heard, the original word of God. So the Vedic literature is roughly divided into three divisions. The one division is the Upanishads, one division is the Samhitas, and the other division is the Aranyakas. So Upanishads form one division inside the Vedic literature. And there are many Upanishads, and chiefly there are 108 Upanishads. And we know that Isopanishad is one of such Upanishads. So Isopanishad is part of the Shruti, the Vedic literature. So like that there are many other Upanishads, like Katha Upanishad is being quoted here. There is Svetashvatara Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, Gopalatapani Upanishad, Kena Upanishad. So like that there are many Upanishads. Is Bhagavad Gita one such Upanishad? Bhagavad Gita is not an Upanishad like that, meaning it is not originally part of the Vedas among those 108 or how many ever number of Upanishads there are. But it is considered an Upanishad outside the Vedic literature, meaning outside the Shruti. Shruti actually is an interesting word. Shruti and Smriti. Shruti is the word of God, as I said. But Smriti is the instructions derived based on the word of God. Like for example, Prabhupada's books. They are Smriti. They are derivations of the Vedic conclusions. Puranas, compiled by Vyasadeva. They are Smriti. Itihasas, they are Smriti. They are not the original word of God, but they are all derivations based on the original word of God. And they are as important as Shruti, because they are coming from the mouths of realized devotees. And they explain easily how one can understand the Shruti. So therefore Smriti is as important as Shruti. And Mahabharata is one such Smriti. It is also technically called Panchama Veda. Mahabharata is one such Smriti. And since Bhagavad Gita comes as part of that Smriti, Bhagavad Gita is technically classified as Smriti. So there is Shruti and then Smriti. Both are important. Shruti, Smriti, Puranadi, Pancharatriki Vidhim Vina, Aikantiki Harer Bhaktir Utpatayaiva Kalpate. Whatever devotional activities one undertakes has to be authorized from both Shruti and Smriti. Has to be permitted by one of Shruti or Smriti. Now, even though Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata and therefore it became a Smriti, but because it is directly the word of Supreme Personality of Godhead, it can also be called as Shruti by the definition. Because Shruti means word of God. So Bhagavad Gita is the word of God. So Bhagavad Gita is called Shruti inside Smriti. So it may be confusing, but if you follow carefully, it will be very clear. So Bhagavad Gita is the Shruti inside Smriti. So many people, they cannot understand Krishna as the Supreme Lord, even though he is being called as Sri Bhagavan in the Bhagavad Gita and everywhere in the scriptures and by all saintly people, bona fide acharyas. Therefore, they say that Bhagavad Gita is only a Smriti, and they consider Smriti to be lower in authority than Shruti. Anyway, so Bhagavad Gita is a Shruti in Smriti, and it is also called as Upanishad, even though it is not originally part of the Vedas. Why? Because what is the meaning of the word Upanishad? Who can say this? Upanishad.
Sayings, I mean, like the teachings.
Teaching is correct.
Taking close to God.
Sorry?
Taking closer to the God.
Teachings which take close to God. Yes, very nice. Very nice. Upa means near. Upavasa, we use the word. Upavasa means, vasa means residence. Upavasa technically refers to fasting. But actual meaning of Upavasa means we are doing fasting so that we can stay close to God. Vasa, Upavasa, close to God by hearing and chanting His name. Similarly, Upanishad means close to God, or sit down or lie down close to God. Nishad. You stay close to God. So that is Upanishad. So any instruction, any set of instructions which take us close to God is called Upanishad. And Bhagavad Gita is especially spoken for that purpose. Therefore it becomes the foremost Upanishad. It is also called Upanishad of the Upanishads. So that is why it is called Gita Upanishad. So that explains that word, Gita Upanishad. And so the other points, beautiful points Prabhupada mentions in the purport. So Prabhupada says, the fact that the atomic soul is within the body of gigantic animal, in the body of a gigantic banyan tree, and also in the microbic germs, millions and billions of which occupy only an inch of space, is certainly very amazing. Ascharyavat pasyati kaschidenam. It's very amazing, isn't it? Just to imagine that a small microbe, a tiny microbe which can be seen only in microscope, and in 1 inch of space, such millions and billions of which occupy. And inside each of that, there is a spirit soul which is making it function, making the microbe function the way it is functioning. So the soul is so small, it can enter such a small entity as well as a gigantic banyan tree or a gigantic animal. That small spirit is able to work so brilliantly. If an elephant, to lift an elephant, we require so much of equipment, so many people, because the mass of the elephant is so huge. When the elephant falls into the ditch, they catch the elephant. Or to take out the elephant and to transport it requires huge amount of endeavor to lift that mass of the bulky body. But one small, tiny spirit soul, smaller than that microbe, which is present in the heart of the elephant, is able to move that whole mass of the body very smoothly without any effort. Just imagine. Without our knowledge, our fingernails are growing. You cut it, the nails grow. You cut the hair grows. You run, the body sweats. Prabhupada gives the example how the citric acid is being produced automatically because of the presence of the spirit soul. If there was no spirit soul, the plant will die. It will not produce any byproducts. The lemon fruit is producing so much of citric acid because of the presence of the spirit soul. So what is it? How inconceivable it is. Even we don't know what it is. Even though we are spirit soul, so much of thing is happening because of ourselves, our spirit, but we are completely unaware of what is happening. When a wound is there on the body, it is automatically healed. As soon as there is wound, automatic. If you get hit to something, there is a bump on the head so that it protects that area where it gets hurt by providing a cushion. So everything is happening inside the body without our being able to conceive. So it's some look upon the soul as amazing, and some Ascharyavat vadati. Some talk about it as amazing. So Prabhupada writes here, for the general people, the soul is amazing. Still in the modern society, which is so proud of scientific advancement, so far soul is concerned, it is amazement. Nobody understands still. It is a fact that science cannot approve of, cannot confirm, or cannot work on the platform of spirit soul, because they work only on that which is tangible for the material senses. So that remains as a illusion for them. That remains as an amazement for them. But they understand that there is something special beyond the body which is making the body work. And so they talk about it as amazing. If you go and Google on the internet, what is a spirit soul? You will find innumerable number of entries. Everyone giving their own conception. And even after hearing about it, Shrutva, what is that? The last line. Shrutva enam vedana chaiva kaschit. Even after hearing about it, nobody can understand. So Prabhupada writes, men with a poor fund of knowledge and men who are not austere cannot understand the wonders of the individual atomic spark of spirit, even though it is explained by the greatest authority of knowledge. Who have poor fund of knowledge and who are not austere, they cannot understand. Why? Because owing to gross material conception of things. Most men in this age cannot imagine how such a small particle can become so great and so small. So one who is not austere towards self-realization, one who is not, it is very logical. If one doesn't work hard, they cannot understand higher concepts, even on the material platform. If you are always working to satisfy your senses, always in the zone of sense gratification, then how can you understand the higher concepts of spirit soul? You need to get beyond the distraction of sense gratification, sense attraction, to even contemplate on the topic of spirit soul. So it requires a lot of austerity. So nobody can understand. It won't fall from the sky, the knowledge. One has to be austere. One has to be curious, inquisitive. So men look at the soul proper as wonderful either by constitution or by description. Illusioned by the material energy, people are so engrossed in subject matter for sense gratification that they have very little time to understand the question of self-understanding. So this is a classic phrase we hear. I don't have time. What are you doing? I am busy in my work. I am busy taking my family somewhere. I am busy doing this, doing that. So Bhagavatam it says, Matirna Krishne Parato Svatova. They cannot be attracted towards Krishna either by their own efforts or by the efforts of others. Some people say, I believe in God, but He is not showing me mercy. He is not bringing me to temples. So time will come, then I will come. Everything has to have time. So Prabhupada, in one of the lectures, he was speaking about this point. He said some people say that, Krishna has not shown me mercy yet. When he reveals his mercy, then I am a devotee only, but I am just waiting for his karuna so that I can come to temple and do it. The time has not come. So Prabhupada says, Krishna is clearly saying, you surrender to me, sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. What else do you want Krishna to do? He is clearly saying, you give up all the nonsense and surrender to him. And still you are saying, I am doing my nonsense and Krishna is not making me surrender. Krishna wants you to use your free will and surrender. He is not going to come and grab you. And what is the difference between you and a material element if he does things like that? You have free will and you have to use your free will to come and surrender to the Lord. Of course, for pure devotees, the Lord takes charge of their free will also. Like in the case of Prabhupada's or any elevated soul that we have seen in history, they will face extreme difficulties. Like Prabhupada said, he was literally dragged by his spiritual master, or through his spiritual master, in other words, Krishna. They dragged him and made him take sannyasa. Krishna ensured that Prabhupada suffered all material loss, either money or family or friends, relatives. So if you want Krishna to intrude in your life, it will turn up like that. So you have to be very careful. So better to voluntarily surrender to the Lord. So Prahlad Maharaj says like that. So these people who are engrossed by material sense enjoyment, they cannot be attracted. Atirna Krishne parato svatova midho vipadyeta gruhavratanam. They're attached to family, hearth and home. Adhanta gobir vishatam tamishram. Because of attachment to that sense gratification, Adhanta gobir, attracted by their senses, they are entering vishatam tamishram. They are entering a hellish life, hellish planets in their next life. Punah punah charvita charvanana. And whether are they getting enough satisfaction by leaving out this self-realization? No. They are chewing the same thing. They are not getting rasa. They are hankering for rasa on the material platform, but they are not getting it. Punah punah charvita charvanana. So that is the plight of the people who are not able to attract, not able to come to this point. And so Prabhupada writes here, all activities result in ultimate defeat in the struggle for existence. So as long as you don't come to the platform of spirit soul, all the activities result in ultimate defeat. What Rishabhadeva says, Parabhavas tavad abodha jato. As long as yavan najignasata atma tattvam, as long as you don't come to the point of atma tattvam, all your activities remain parabhava, defeat. Even though you win materially, it's a defeat. Because you are going to face a bitter next life because of engaging uselessly in this life, carelessly. As well as spiritually also you are defeated. You've not been able to utilize the human body. So like that sage who blesses everyone. Rajaputra Chiranjiva, Muniputra Majiva. If you are enjoying, you are better enjoy now itself. Otherwise, next life is going to be very difficult for you. So like that. And what are the points? Yeah. So here, Prabhupada says, but it also requires a great deal of penance and sacrifice, either in this life or in the previous ones, before one is able to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Esham tvantagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dudamvrata. So one needs to have undergone severe penances, sacrifices and austerities to be able to accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord. Or they have a chance to voluntarily accept by hearing the words of a pure devotee. So instead of going through so many great deals of penance and sacrifice, one can instantly accept the Lord and He will accept you and get rid of all your sinful reactions. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami masuchaha.